name is Joe Way, and this is Sierra Specialty Automotive. Welcome back to the shop. First thing I want to do is brag. Recently I sent a leather gauge, a Starrett leather gauge to Lyle Peterson, Mr. Pete Toolbox, for him to use in one of his mystery tool videos, and he did. And at my request, he returned the tool to me, and it came back with a pair of stickers. So I have one of the coveted Toolbox stickers. Let's take a quick look at that on the big board. I'm pretty pleased about that. There she is. I got him right here next to his good friend Randy Richard, who lives out here pretty close to me. We just found out from Randy Richard that Mr. Pete will be attending the Summer Bash, the Bar Z Industrial Summer Bash, with Randy. They'll be driving down together. Makes me even more sorry that I'm not going to make it this year. I've got a family obligation, which I am looking forward to, but it's on the same day. Next year, 2020, I'm going to be at the Bar Z Bash. Today I'm working on some organization in my shop, trying to get a little bit of cleanup done. Part of it is going to involve moving much of my specialty tooling from an old Park 11 drawer, no, how many drawers is that? 5, 6, 10 drawer Park toolbox, which is very much like a Kennedy box, and I think roughly equivalent in quality to a larger and longer Kennedy box that I acquired recently at an estate sale. So the purpose of this video is to take a look at this box as received or as acquired before I rearrange it to fit my own needs. So let's turn the camera around and take a look at the box. Here's the box. 26 3/4 long, 18 high, and the usual depth, 8.5 inches or so. In fairly good shape. It's dirty, dusty, has what might be some paint stains on the top. The only thing wrong with it I can find is the little handle is missing here. I understand that these are available. I may try to get one of those. Comes with the keys, original pair of Kennedy keys, and a lock that works. So let's open that up, and there, we need the little handle, don't we? This latch I think is locked down. There we go. That'll require a little bit of lubricant. I can't get the door back in underneath with it sitting on this cart because the handles are in the way. I'm going to set that aside. One neat thing about this box, here's the envelope with the movable partitions that go with it, and some little brackets of some kind. I'll have to figure out what those are for. Little spring clips. They're in here. A special offer from Kennedy Manufacturing. Get your plaque, lifetime aluminum nameplate made to your order, either stamped or engraved, for $1 or $2. I'm not sure how old this box is. I do know it's 60s or later because it does have the zip code. Well, I may contact Kennedy and see if this offer is still valid. That would be interesting. And a little Kennedy Toolbox catalog showing their current production at that time. Still in this box from the original purchaser, which was not the person I got it from. The estate was that of a very good friend of mine who I'm positive got this at a yard sale. Here are 3 more dividers. I am assuming these are for the one of the 3 large drawers. In the top we don't have very much. I'm just going to pick it out and show you. We got some wire, looks like about 14, this is 12, and a couple of rolls of 14 partial rolls, and 1 rivet. No, this is a spring-loaded ball check. I wonder if this came from the box. Little ball would be a retaining feature to keep something registered, but allow it to be removed easily by just pulling against the ball. I wonder if there is. These are only 2 holes here, and they're for the pins that lock the faceplate in. So now I'm going to get you a little bit closer, and we'll open these drawers one at a time. Spoiler alert, this is not a tremendously interesting box. There's a few items in here. Some of them are pretty nice, and most of it's just miscellaneous junk like you'd find in a lot of non-machinist toolboxes. And the guy that had this was a mechanical guy who worked on cars all his life, but in an amateur capacity. He was never a professional mechanic. So I'm going to move the camera and get a better view of these drawers. In the first drawer, we have little ignition wrenches. Here's a gauge for setting spark plugs. Small caliper, spring caliper with no name on it. It does say made in USA. Very faint, hard to read. But it is obviously a lower quality tool. The finish on it is just adequate for the purposes. And a pair of point files, and they appear to be in pretty good condition. They always come in handy. So there's drawer number 1. These are, they have a brand on them, Dunlap. That's a tool brand I recognize. Are they all? No, they're not all stamped. So some of them are probably better than others. Here we have a cheap screwdriver. Well, no, that's not cheap. That's a snap-on pocket screwdriver. And stubby that's been ground. A pair of tweezers, that looks handy. This is made by the E&T Manufacturing Company. This is a double-ended caliper. Measure either direction. Here's a set screw, a dog point thumb screw. Looks like maybe for some kind of a machining application. I don't know. And a pair of taps. Now this is a reamer. Looks like a taper reamer, very small taper reamer. Look, I don't see any ID on that. And what appears to be about an 832 tap. Nope, 1032. And in this entire drawer we have an acid brush. Always can use those. And the big drawer, and this is one reason I'm really happy to have this. This is my first machinist toolbox that has the tool from the machinery's handbook, and this will get my machinery's handbook. And here I've seen people talk about this. Mine has not been removed. There's a knockout here, just like in an electrical box. And the purpose of the knockout is to be able to get your finger underneath your machinery's handbook and push it up to get at it. Right now we're looking at a couple of matchbooks from Swisher Sweets. Relax, enjoy a cigar. I don't know how old those would be. Probably not too old. They seem to be in quite good condition. I have smoked Swisher Sweets, but it has been many, many years. And here we have some miscellaneous Allen wrenches, or I should say hex keys, because these probably are not actual Allen. That's Craftsman. Probably no name on most of these, just stuff that a guy acquires. Nope, just the big one has the name on it. Not a set, just some miscellaneous stuff. And that says Norton Company. So I'm going to guess that that had at one time a small stone, probably for sharpening pocket knife. And we have a larger spring caliper, external, made by the Union Tool Company. I don't know if that's going to show right here. These are reasonably nice. They're not Starrett's, but at least they're made in Massachusetts in the United States of America. And we have some piloted reamers, 405, handwritten on there with an etching tool. Union, I don't see a size, looks like around 5/16. This would be either a new or a resharp, probably a resharp with that plastic. And I think it says 192P, I'm guessing that's for the pilot. And this is, I don't know, I'm going to step over to the magnifier, illuminated magnifier. Here's another hand reamer, 5/16, and another hand reamer. This one's got some rust on it. Most of the others look to be in very good condition. This one's probably another 5/16, yeah, .312. It's got rust on the tip. And we have a Starrett RPM meter, revolution gauge. No tool number on here. Patented in 87 and 05. Nope, no tool number. It's a little bit rough, but it still works. It feels smooth. It looks rough, and no rubber tips to go with it. But that's a bona fide Starrett. Let me go look at the label on this stick. It is a rubberized abrasive, so it's a Kratex or similar in a, I'm going to guess around a medium grit. And instructions for reading your number 142 dial caliper. So maybe there's a dial caliper somewhere in here. General number 142 plastic dial caliper. Well, I guess it's better than no caliper at all. I think I'm going to have to back up a little bit for the wide drawers. All right, now the challenge is going to be staying out of the way. Here we have 6 12, 15 dies. 1-inch dies appear to be all Ace brand. Well, not all. There's a Lucky brand, and most of them are Ace in various small sizes. Are these 1-inch? Look even smaller. Well, no, it's 1-inch OD, and here's a handle for them. Forged, made in USA. This particular one is really? 1/2 24. Now that's a special thread. I've not heard of that. I've dealt with a lot of special threads in my brake cylinder business. I ran into a lot of special threads. For instance, in brake cylinders, 20 pitch is very common, up to 1 inch. So I have acquired over the years for chasing threads in cast iron brake cylinders. I've acquired, in addition to the typical 1/2 inch 20, I've got 9/16, 5/8, 11/16, 3/4, up to 1 inch by 20 taps for chasing threads. Here's 1/2 inch 13, that's a common one. I'm just wondering if there's any other odd ones in there. 7/16, 14, 1/4 28. I don't see any other odd ones. That one is maybe the only really strange one in there. 3/8 24, 3/8 16, all standard stuff. But that one is quite unusual. 1/2 inch 24. And we have a tap handle, or a die handle, and another die handle, quite a bit better one, with the adjustable guide to help keep it straight. Another tap out of place, 5/16 24. A tap handle with no name on it. It's a fairly good one. It looks like it might be a U.S. General type, or that they usually put their name on them. With a 7/16 20 tap, and here's a bunch of assorted taps. 1/8 inch pipe. These all look to be in usable condition, certainly not new. A couple of them look quite nice. We have everybody's friend, an Easy Out, and another Easy Out, Proto, and this is W&B, number 5. Another tap handle, and a Craftsman. It's called a Polytap. Looks like 632, 832, and 1024 taps on one tool. That's kind of neat. That's probably something everybody else has seen, but I've never seen one of those taps. Cute little screwdriver, dental pick type of a thing, and rethreader dies. Aha! Now this is nice. This is a nice set. These are who are they made by? Jaw Manufacturing Company, Reading, Pennsylvania. And these are fairly old, at least prior to 60s, because there's no zip code. And your standard coarse thread from, is that probably 1/4 20. That's going to be the nut size, 7/16. So it's going to be 1/4 20 up to 3/4. So that's a nice set of tools there. I'm glad to have that. And we have a piece of rubber tube and a Eisgehardet. Tell me how to say that, Stefan. Made in West Germany, and this has a glass cutter wheel, folding utility knife, and a knife sharpener. Knife sharpener here, and I'm not sure what that's for. Probably sharpening something up, maybe sharpening scissors, I don't know. That little folding handle, that's kind of neat. All right, that drawer turned out to be very worthwhile, if for no other reason than it's got a full set of rethreading dies. Wonder if I'll find a fine thread set. Here we have not very much. An Allen wrench, or I should say a hex wrench, a couple of burrs. Judging by the wear on them, I'm going to say these are high-speed steel and not carbide. A little Vaco, that's a brand name, nut driver, very small one, and 4 drill bits. And I'm going to guess none of these are US made. Can't read that one. Can't read that one, it's scarred up. And that might be a good one. ATM, I'm not familiar with that, or it could be ATN. And can't read that one. All right, last drawer. Well, we got something in here. Here is a T-clock dial gauge. Feels like that's in there, yes. T-Clock Corporation, this is made in Japan, so that's better than a Chinese tool. There are some marks in the paint, so this has been mounted up at some time, but it appears to be as new. One inch, works smoothly. I'm happy with that. Can't have too many of those. This will make, I think, 4 or 5 for me. And here we have that says Central Tools, micrometer, thimble drive, not tenths of course, not in a central, but it does have the fractions of an inch on the one side and decimal equivalents, and the box has a chart for decimal equivalents. Here's your new central micrometer. So that's a serviceable tool, not a Starrett or a Lufkin or a Brown and Sharp, but it'll do for most purposes. And another Central Tool Company item, back plunge, Central number 200, 200 thousandths, with some accessories. The little clamp, this is a kind of a typical set. The tip is missing. Here's a tip, but the other tip, the regular tip, is missing. And where does this go? I guess it goes in here. That seems kind of vague. There's no way to register that in there. Maybe that at one time there may have been another layer of foam in there. But again, this is a serviceable tool Not a sterret, but it'll do the job. All right. Now I'll move this to location on my roll-around toolbox and load this up with my own stuff. So that ought to be enough for this quick video to wrap this up here. I hope you'll comment. I hope you'll subscribe. I thank you for watching, and I hope you'll come back and visit the shop again. Thank you.